30 minutes of power.
Welcome to 30 Minutes of Power, a podcast dedicated to educate, encourage, and inspire godly people to use their power to empower others. Join your hosts, Jory O'Neill and Nicole Salter, as they share powerful insights on how you can use your God-given talents and gifts to make a positive impact in the world.
Nicole, tap in, and then I wanna, just great. Just stay
I gotta raise my hand before Jory take all the time. First of all, I want to say your story is unbelievable. I commend you more than I can commend anybody under the sun. My husband and I, we worked with the youth for maybe about 10 years, and I found myself with very little patience for youth that did not want my help. Like, they knew they were doing wrong. We would be like, why shouldn't you do that? And they would tell us why they shouldn't do it. And they'd be like, but we're going to do it anyway. And I'd be like, I won't help you no more. Bye. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized, like, this is not my calling. I'm leaving because nobody's going to grow. Nobody's going to grow here. I also want to mention a few things that you said while you were talking, right? You said triggered. That triggered is such a dangerous thing because it can cause us to do a lot of things that we don't even realize is happening, you know? And so you also spoke about creating a safe space. And it just blesses my heart that you are not even like your house or your church or wherever it is, but just you yourself, you are a safe space for these people, for these men. And you said you had women too, right? Young women also. And the thing that I like about that, right, is you create a safe space for 10. Those 10 are learning to create a space for 10 more. Mm-hmm. So now you have 100 safe spaces, right? And what do you think is going to happen with these 100 people? Naturally, each of them are going to create a safe space for 10 more. And so you just have this enormous safe space growing in your community. And it is such a blessing to hear that someone, not me, but someone was able to step up and do that, right? Someone was able to realize that this was their calling, and they were able to go in and call it out. And I'm not calling it out, but do it. You know what I mean? And another thing you mentioned, which I thought was funny, is the kids call you Miss Pooh, right? And to me, that says safe. That says safe. It's something that is personal to you that you have decided to share with them. And that is what creates safe space. And I mean, I don't know, this is my first time meeting you, and I'm very glad I did. And I don't know any of your guys, but I'm so pleased and I'm so blessed and I'm so happy that they have someone like you in their lives, because not many of us have that. Not many of us experience that. And although I don't deal with a lot of it in my own life, I try to be that for my children. I try to make sure that, and I'm definitely trying to make sure I'm proving Jory's numbers wrong, because I want to be that safe space for my kids. Yeah. I want to be that influence in them. You know what I mean? And so I purposefully volunteer and go on trips, and I purposefully make sure that their teachers know me, their administrators know me, everybody knows me in their school. Mm-hmm. I purposefully go out of my way and hang out with them and their friends sometimes. We'll play a game in the backyard or we'll go swimming in the pool. And I'm known as Naomi's mom. That's my new name. Naomi's mom or Christopher's mom. And I'd be driving in the community and people say, hi, Naomi's mom. And I'm like, who said that? Where's that coming from? And I see somebody all the way on the other side of the street. And I'm like, I'm happy because, one, you know me as Naomi's mom. Two, you feel safe enough to call me Naomi's mom. Like, you don't care what my name is. It's you Naomi's mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yes.
I mean? And so that lets me know, if you see my children as being your friends and as being safe, then I am now someone that is safe for you. And I like that. I enjoy that. And I'm sure you enjoy being a safe space
Yes.
for these boys and for these young men and these young women that you are building relationships with. And I can't commend you enough, because it is not an easy job.
No, no, it is not. But I promise I thank you so much. I truly do.
Go on,
Oh,
TT.
also,
Raise your hand.
one more question, Auntie Linda. Is there a specific church address that you can give us where we can send donations?
Yes. I can give you the address to either Lively Stone or St. Martin. St. Martin's is a little bit closer. They literally right around the corner. And Jose is always there to take something for us. So I'll give you the address to St. Martin's.
Yes, you can share it with Jory. Jory will put it in the chat.
Gotcha.
Go on, TT. So happy that you joined us.
I made it. I was trying to get home so I could make it. Aisha, you are doing a wonderful, wonderful work. I see you on Facebook. When you put something on Facebook, I'm sitting there like this. I'm watching it. I'm listening, and you have so many beautiful things to say, to uplift and tell us about what's going on in the neighborhood. Those as like me that can't do all that walking and stuff like that. But if it's anything you need from me, like maybe you're gonna have a dinner or a luncheon or something, call me. I'll help cook. I'm a good cook, you know that.
Yes.
I'll help cook and help feed these young men and women that you got. Especially if it's on a Saturday or something like that. Right now, I'm babysitting during the week, so I can't do it during the week. But yeah, because you're so inspirational. I just have to tell you that. And keep up the work that you're doing, girl. You know, I knew you back when.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Linda. I promise I appreciate you. This is definitely the work, and I'm happy to be able to do it.
Seem to be thriving from the work that you're doing. So
yes.
Keep it up, girl. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll definitely let you know. I promise you I will.
You know we friends on Facebook, right?
Yes.
Okay, just hit me and I'll get right back to you, and you tell me what you need and I'll do it. Okay.
Just like that, folks. It don't take much. It don't take much at all. Just like that, folks. Just tap in. Tap in. All right. She doing the whole
She's
everything.
doing a great thing.
She doing all of it. So I want to full circle. St. Martin's, Lively Stone. What can the church do, regardless if they're in Austin or not? What can the church begin to do to support these young people?
Really, it's just acknowledging that it might not be like an immediate spiritual connection with these kids, because it's such a disconnect, and I think sometimes sometimes they're turned off from older mindsets or the way things have gone. But I recognize with St. Martin's, with Lively Stone, with Verisource Center, that they are open to, hearing from these young people what it is that they need. It's also not only opening up their space to these young people to have these meetings and the community breakfast that we do and things like that, but to also have an opportunity to just let them be. And what that does is it creates a dynamic that lives outside of me, which is always what I want, is for them to know, thank you, someone outside of me, and to know that space. So even when we invite, like Verisource Center, my mother does, she takes over a very heavy drug spot on Lake and Laramie, I think once or twice a month. And the response from the community, because I was just, explaining to her, like, a lot of people not gonna come into the church, you know what I mean? So what you have to do is, we say you got to meet people where they are, but a lot of people say that from a pulpit, you know what I mean? Like, when we say meet people where they are, we have areas that's saturated and people would love to see the church out there. So they literally go, they do prayer, they do food, and it's music. And like, now the people are looking for them to be there in that lot on those Sundays. And me and the guys went out there with them the last time and just took up space with them. And that made them feel good. Like, those are the type of things that the church can do. And sometimes it's just realizing that you're not going to be the answer all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I even understand that it's many of them I can reach, and some of them I'm not going to be able to reach. And that's okay. You know what I mean? But who can? And sometimes it's just being open to the idea that as the church as a whole, or, people in certain positions, you may not be what it is that they need at that present time, but still just let them know that you are there. You know what I mean? That you are welcoming. And by showing up to things that they do. I cannot remember this pastor's name. He wasn't from Austin. He was definitely from the West Side. But when I was taking over corners, when that little boy, when that 3-year-old got killed, I remember posting on Facebook, like, if you really say you about that life, pull up on this corner with me. He came and he was ready. Like, he came from North Lawndale and he was ready. And everywhere I went, when I started taking over corners and taking over blocks and stuff like that, this man, each time he came with like 2 and 3 people. Like, he just started, like, more and more people started coming with him. And I just gained so much respect for him for that, because he was like, man, sister, this is what I've been waiting to do. You know what I mean? And some people just need the space to do it. They have their fire already and they understand what it's going to take. So, like, those type of people, the kids will connect, you know what I mean? Because they see you consistent. They see it's not about you trying to get them to join their church. It's more about them just being able to be a presence for them. So it's not hard. I don't think everybody in the church means, I'm saying, any harm. Some people are just set in their ways. It's just some things that we got to kind of get away from, and you got to learn how to shift. You know what I mean? You have to learn how to shift. This generation is different. This generation is fearless. This generation is truly fearless. And if you can teach them how to direct that and how to use their energy for something productive, man, they could take over something. They are valuable. They are valuable. We have to show them that their voices matter and things of that nature. This space is for them. The church just has to be open to understanding that they might not be able to, they're not going to be the leader of that. They have to let these kids be the leader of it. Just open the space or meet them where they are. And you don't have to come with your suit on and all that, man. Come out there where they are and just have a genuine conversation with them. Honestly, you know what I mean? Introduce yourself. You ain't got to even talk to them for 10 minutes. Introduce yourself. You know what I mean? Just sometimes it's just taking up space with them, and you might not reach all of them, but it's gonna be somebody in that group that's gonna be like, man, I might need to go there on Sunday, or I might need to follow up with him, or I might need to talk to him or text him. There's different ways, you know what I mean? So it's not all is lost. I don't believe it either. I'm not a religious person, but a spiritual person, I absolutely am. Because ain't nowhere in the world I could have done this for 19 years without being a spiritual person. This is some work. This is some real work. This is a battle sometimes. So, I gotta stay prayed up. I gotta believe. I gotta continuously know that I didn't choose this life. The life chose me. And I'm okay with that. So you got to know the difference. You know what I mean? This ain't about nothing else, but it chose me and I accepted the calling and I'm just going to walk in it. So yeah, they just need to see that. That's all. They just need to see that and see that we open to it.
So it's just blowing my mind so much, like everything you're saying, because when you're speaking about the moves that you've been making, she went bye-bye. She'll come back. So what she might not understand, and I think this is an important part to leave off on, the things that she's doing, like there are names for these type of programs, even though she doesn't desire for it to be called a program. There are programs. So I want anyone who's listening to this, who's seeing this, like, I need you to Google like what shepherd programs are. Shepherd, SHEPARD. These are shepherd models, and these are all forms of diversion programs. And what is a diversion program? It's a program that's meant to kind of put their arms around a young person in the community to prevent them from adding and contributing to the school to prison pipeline, right? So all the things that she just shared, right? People graduating from high school, people, having children, people like continuing the work, people doing outreach, doing volunteerism, community service. This is all happening, which means that jail is not, right? So a lot of people are looking at this backwards, like how can we keep kids out of jail? And I love that Aisha Oliver of Root to Fruit, CEO and founder, is not concerned with the end. She's getting the children at 8 and 9 years old at the beginning and sowing seeds of faith, hope, and love in them from the start. And so I think politicians, y'all have to look at it from that lens. Don't wait till the kid does all the bad things. Hit them up at the beginning before everything starts. Show them love, show them respect, show them that they are valued and their voice has reason and has purpose and it's worth listening to. And you can mitigate all the other stuff. So I want to thank Aisha Oliver again so much for jumping on here. If you want to see how fly she is, because y'all didn't get a real good taste of how dope she is. She is also the CEO and founder of the Boulevard clothing line. She jumping back on here. Let her back in. The Boulevard clothing line. And so her fall launch is coming up later this year. Super excited. She's a dope individual. Catch her on IG or Facebook. Her clothes are magnificent. I just wish she can just like put something together for me on a whim, just have me dressed all fly and such and so forth. And there to go. If we're gonna land this plane. This is a good conversation, but I loved every moment of it. I'm not even gonna chop this one up. We just gonna it was delicious. Y'all missed the beginning parts. Y'all gotta listen to the replay of the podcast. The beginning parts was amazing. Yo, Nicole, I mean her whole story, like growing up, like wow, like amazing, absolutely amazing. But yeah,
it definitely was. And I think the part that I like best is the fact that she is teaching the church how to love, right? And how to accept people for where they are and take them to higher places. Like she is teaching all of us how to do those things, how not to judge because of the way they look or the way they dress or where they come from, but to take them and show them another way.
That's how we started. That's how this whole conversation started.
And you don't have to be Christian. You don't have to be the pastor, right? Who needs the camera to be on him all the time. You don't have to be the pastor to do the things that she's doing. any ordinary person can do it. And I love that.
No, not an ordinary person, because
you're absolutely right. Because
there's special humans that are built
you're
for this.
absolutely right.
And she mentioned that there are people who already have the fire in them and they see the mission. And so again, words matter because words have meaning. She's an activator.
Yes.
So you can call her an activist, you can call her an advocate, but she is a fire starter.
Yes, definitely.
Right? Like that's just like, just so encouraged.
It was great. I love it.
Wow, such a listen. If you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Baby.
Yeah, Aisha Oliver, Roots of Fruit. I mean, pushing peace, going into the middle schools, going to the high schools and the grammar schools, and showing these babies love, right? Love and hope and encouragement. Super blessed to have her on here. She's trying to get back on. Hopefully she could connect and say goodbye to the people. But absolutely amazing conversation. Super excited to have heard her story. I know this is marked versus mocked, and I feel like we didn't even say the title, Nicole. Like, we didn't say the title, but all of it was there. All the components of marked versus mocked, all of the components were there. So maybe I'll like reverse it and have this be the end, be the beginning, and then we'll figure it out. It's gonna be great.
Yes.
Aisha, you're back. You're back.
Yes. They said, you see how they work, tried to kick me off. Don't worry about it. I got y'all. Hop right back on the laptop.
That's right.
Another screensaver. I like this one too.
Yeah.
These my babies, y'all. This us and I think this was our back to school event last summer. Everybody got their hoodies on. That's how you know when they rocking with me. If you see one of them with their hoodie on, because you can't get the hoodie unless you take our pledge. So you can't get the hoodie unless you done took that 16 codes and you standing on it. So these my babies that's not so babyish right now.
Love it. Love it. So yeah, so we were just sharing how Nicole was sharing how you are being a living demonstration of what love is, and you're laying down literally a blueprint on how to love, like from within the community. You don't have a title per se in terms of council person or senator or but you are a fire starter. Like, that is your title. You're an activator, right? And God positions certain people to do that very thing. And he does it in different industries, right? And so some people do it in the marketplace, but you're doing it in youth development, right? And so I'm like all these titles, and I was sharing when you was off that literally what you've developed is called a shepherd model, and it's a sort of diversion program, but that's not where you started. You didn't start it with the diversion program. You just started from love. Here is the need. Here's how I'm gonna meet it. Period. Done. Boom. Right. And it grew and it blossomed. Right. The sun came. Water came. It nourished and it flourished and just so excited. I'm excited to see what this is gonna look like. Right. Like, I mean, because if this model does get bigger, we talking about like a new Chicago.
A new Chicago.
A new Chicago.
Yep.
And it started in Austin.
That's right. That's right.
You can steal that, all right? A new Chicago. And it started in Austin. You go ahead and have those words. I will not fight you. I'm not gonna sue you. You good? No libel. We're good. Cuz we good. You got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna chop it up because I what you're doing is already trying to be duplicated in other cities. Right? I know you know that.
Yep.
And so you've been doing this for 18 years. You have data, you have proof, you have like it, you could see it. So I think if anybody is not like in their right mind and they're in a position of leadership anywhere, regardless if they're Chicago or not, and if they not ringing your phone, if they not knocking your door, if they not hitting your email, shame on them. Shame on it. Because this what you're doing, like, I can't even tell, girl. It's a breath of fresh air. And I'm so happy to start in Chicago. That's my hometown. So
right. You know, we needed it. We needed it.
Listen, a lot of people don't know, like, well, my auntie Linda does. Like, I used to literally take a train and a bus from Riverdale, from Harvey, from Thornton Township to the north side, because there were programs that they had there that they didn't have in the suburbs.
Yep.
There were kids who looked like me being sewn into, but it wasn't happening in the suburbs. There were opportunities that were available, but it wasn't in the suburbs. So I think if people start not seeing inner cities as a dumping ground or as hopeless or as lost, and they start actually looking at the children there as they are not potential. They are amazing, and they're valuable, period. You don't need to add nothing. They're just valuable. And so, yeah, I'm super excited. If ain't nobody tapping on your shoulder, asking you for help and trying to, like, literally, like, grow this thing, shame on them. Shame on them. I said it for shame on you.
Listen, they can't get around me, Jay. I can tell you that much. I will tag myself a professional troublemaker for sure.
We call it a fire starter. It's good. Yeah. Fire starter. Sounds
fire
good.
starter. Yeah. Table shaker. All of those.
All the above.
All of the above.
But here's the difference.
They can't get around me.
Here's the difference. Like, you are building your own table. You know, people are like, oh, like there's a seat at the table for everyone. Like, affirmative action is like, no. Yep. I don't want no seat at your table, because your table's corroded. Yeah. Your table's dirty. Because you taking this government money and you put it in your pocket and you're not putting it back in the community. I don't want to sit at your table. Matter of fact, I don't even like your table. I'm gonna build my own table. And you know who's gonna sit at my table? The youth. Because they're the ones that actually should be at the table, so that this table stays functioning. Right? Like, I just love it. I can stay here like forever, but I don't think it'll be good. I don't think it'll be good. Yeah. So 30 minutes of power, people. Blessed. Such a good time. Right? This is the space for motivation, education, and inspiration. Where we push, we seek, we encourage godly women to pursue their passion. And you call yourself what you want to. That's what you is, boo-boo. You's a godly woman pursuing your passion, boo-boo. So you right where you're supposed to be. Right where you're supposed to be. And with that said, this is 30 Minutes of Power. Nicole Salter, Jory O'Neill, our co-host, Linda Faye Ray.
She made it!
I see Linda.
Our special guest for this evening, Aisha. Please be an empowered person, using your power to empower others. Till next time, people. Thank you for tuning in to 30 Minutes of Power. We hope you found today's episode informative and inspiring. To stay connected with us and continue the conversation, follow us on Instagram at 30 Minutes of Power, or email us at azironsharpensiron@gmail.com. Don't forget to visit our website at azisi.org to learn more about our mission and how you can get involved. Remember, your power can make a difference in the world. Let's be folks out there using our power to empower others.
30 minutes of power.